Going on, guys? Off the Brain TV here, bringing you another video and another tutorial series. Advanced crossovers. Haven't done one of these in a while, and with 2K16 coming out in about a month, some of this stuff will probably help a lot of people even going into 2K16, so I wanted to cover this. And plus, I get asked a lot how I do a lot of the fancy crossovers and, you know, the things that look like you're not able to do in the game by just the right analog stick. And to start it off, a big way and the big reason I do that is, and switch it up, is because of the size ups. Now, a lot of other guides or people will probably tell you that there's specific size ups that are better than others. That's not really correct. They all are cool and they all are fun, and every single one of them can be effective everywhere from size up number 1 that you've seen me use to the newer size up I'm playing with now, 15 and 14, and you'll see in the descriptions of most of my videos I'll put the size up I use for that video, and it could really make you step your game up in terms of how well your crossovers look, etc. However, it's a little bug, so I'll get into that with you in a second. So right now I have size up 14 selected, and he does this, which is pretty cool, you know, but you have a lot of options with this. Now, you just tap up on the right analog stick and he does his size up. But if you hold turbo, depending on the direction you go, you want to go opposite the ball hand, he will do a crossover like that. Now, when I say bugged, because that is bugged right there, that's too slow, that crossover. Because if you wait too long in the size up, he does that for some reason. When you first equip the size up, he doesn't do it, but then after a while, he'll always do that long crossover. So it makes me think that it's bugged. So how I compensate for this is I break up the size up. Now, you want to do it quickly. So as soon as the size up starts, depending on the size up, like right here, he does like a hesitation to the right with the ball. I go hold my turbo and go opposite the ball hand with my left analog stick, and he does a crossover. Now, pretty much any move can be mixed in with the crossover. You could do down for behind the back and then crossover like, well, let me see if I could do it. Let me get up here. So let's say you go behind the back and then instantly when you hold turbo, go opposite the ball hand, he will cross over. So now you can mix this in with the stop, boom, or you could just stop and cross over like that, like you just saw there. And you could really do it with, like I said, any size up and any move. So what I do is I usually just chain a few of these together. Like I might go into my size up, then go behind the back and cross over. Or I might go between the legs twice, then to the size up, behind the back, stop, size up, create space, and then do some type of leaner, or, you know, get around and hit a nice jump shot, or even go to the rack for a layup or a dunk. Now, why did I see right there? I waited a little longer into the size up to do the crossover, because he does that fancy little move after the hesitation, and you could use that to just go straight up. Now, that's not too advanced. I mean, it is advanced in terms of crossovers when you mix them all together. But once you know how to do it, it really is really simple, but it will take some practice. Now, another easy way to get a crossover is, besides just going to your size ups or going behind the back, is you can actually just go left, right with the analog stick, and then go the opposite, your ball, you know, the opposite to cross over with the left analog stick. So you could go right, left, right, and then left on your left analog stick while holding turbo. But you want to do all of these isolations with the right analog stick before you hold turbo. So by the time you're done with them, you could do that. Because if you hold turbo and go to the right, he'll do a long hesitation, which opens up even more moves that you can also cross over with. So holding turbo, going towards your ball hand, does a long hesitation. To the right, another long hesitation. And if you tap it twice, he will actually do something like that. Now, getting into the more advanced stuff, if you hold turbo and you go opposite your ball hand with the left analog stick and tap the shot button, he will do a long hop, kind of like the post step back. But you could, you know, mix this in with your crossovers and kill it and create a lot of space. Now, obviously, those shots will go in more if you have the shot creator badge, which no badges are active in the gym, which is probably why you're seeing a lot of misses. But you could create a lot of space like that. Oh, by the way, that's my new jump shot. Jump shot 43. Pause real quick. Look how pretty that is. Woo! Anyway. So, pretty much covered using the size ups and switching it up with the size ups to really make your crossovers look super advanced. But just to prove to you, let's just go to a random size up. I just randomly selected 34. Just to show you that any size up, let me just see how it works. Any size up can be used to cross over. Well, I gotta use the, wait, hang on. All right, so he goes left. Boom, there you go. All right, not the prettiest, but you get the idea. Any size up can be used into a crossover, just as long as you start the size up and then hold the turbo, go the opposite your ball hand with the left analog stick, and he'll use it to cross over. What's also cool about this size up, I just realized, is that it's actually not broken like some of the other ones. So you can actually wait till the full size up finishes, or is towards the end of the size up like that, and then go right into the crossover. And you might come across a few like that. It's usually the quicker ones that aren't bugged. So again, you're waiting all the way to the end of the size up, and then you can actually use it to cross over. Boom, and the size up is right there. And then, you know, the opposite with the turbo, and that's a nice crossover. Butter, creating space. One more thing is you can also do it with the in and out. So if you're standing still and you're holding turbo and press up on the right analog stick, he does the in and out move right there. And you can actually use that to cross over too. Anytime you want, boom. That's a quick little static or standstill crossover to add to your arsenal. Again, chaining all these together adds a little pizzazz. Another nice crossover, because not everything has to be the size ups. Now, what you can also do is, let's say you're driving or you do a crossover or whatever, and you got another defender to get around. If you're holding turbo and you hit towards your ball hand with the right analog stick while holding turbo, he does a shuffle step. So again, you get behind your guy, boom, space. But that's not what I wanted to show you, even though that was nice. So you get around your guy and you're holding turbo to drive, but there's another defender, hit right on the right analog, hit towards your ball hand with the right analog stick. He does the shuffle, and then, like we said before, go the opposite your ball hand with the left analog stick while holding turbo, and he'll even cross over from that. So you might see a lot of times I'll be, you know, driving, I might do a spin move, get around him, and then shuffle step, crossover, and look, I'm all the way on the right side of the paint now. That's creating a lot of space. You're able to change your direction, and that's how you get more ankle breakers. I get a lot of ankle breakers in this game from doing stuff like that. Some size ups will cause more ankle breakers than other, but you will get some more ankle breakers using these techniques. Now, before I finish the video, because, you know, a lot of this stuff is not complicated, but it takes a lot of practice, and the more what's cool about it is the more advanced you get with it, the cooler your crossovers will look, the cooler your dribble moves will look, and you could start pulling out some really, really sick stuff. But it's cool because the more practice you give it, the more combinations you could come up with. I mean, you know, it's endless. You could go between the legs, behind the back, all kinds of nasty stuff, and really create some sick space. Boom, crossover, jump shot, whatever. Another one before I let you go is the spin moves. Now, this is when you stand still. So if you go opposite your ball hand with the circle, and you do a circle with the right analog stick, he will do a standstill spin like that. Now, if you hold turbo before the spin is done and you go opposite the ball hand, he will actually cross over with it. Same thing as with the size ups. Everything is the same thing. So spin move in place. Sometimes he doesn't do it, but spin move in place, boom. Hold turbo, opposite. That's another crossover for you. But now a little trick for you guys, and you might have seen me do this in my videos. if you actually have a little bit of momentum, let's say you're going left, right, or something, or you're in your size up, if you do a spin move there, or while you have some motion like between the legs, you can actually go right off the rip from the spin move. When you're in place, you really don't have the opportunity to do that. See how he kind of is slow at first and then he'll drive? So if you go between the legs or something and then do your spin move, you can actually use that to get right around your defender and go for a layup or whatever. So watch how quick this is. So let's say I come up, we need some quick points. I go between the legs, spin move, and then I'm right in for a layup. Really, really dope stuff. Really is an advanced crossover. Boom, look at that one. I got to change my spin move though. I've been testing out some other spin moves, and I'm not too crazy about the one that I'm using now. It made me turn the ball over a bunch of times. I really think the best one is like number 6 or 7 or whatever it was. Anyway, so that is how to use your spin moves a little more to your advantage as well by using this advanced crossover technique. Another way is with just your regular crossover. Now, as you all know, when you come up the court, depending on your crossover, when you're just driving, if you go opposite your ball hand with the right analog stick, he does just the normal crossover. Look at this. I'm stuck in a walk animation in the gym. Anyway, so you're driving, boom, you go the opposite with the right analog stick and he does a crossover. So it's a little different than when you're just holding turbo and going opposite your ball hand. But depending on your crossover, also when you're going up and you hit up on your right analog stick, he does the signature move that is part of your crossover. For me, it's the sham guard here. But you can do my technique by not holding turbo when you do it, but then holding turbo when it starts to turn it into a sham guard, into a crossover, which always burns my defender. And you'll see me do it quite a lot. Either I'll do my spin move like on a fast break or something. I'll either come up, do my sham guard, and then that crossover, and then, a step back or between the legs, jump back, do my jump shot, whatever. You'll see me do that quite often. But that's a really good way to use this technique and pretty much burn your defender every time. So I don't know why sometimes he doesn't do the step back, but during the games I usually have no problem doing it. You know which move I'm talking about. Well, I taught you this in another episode. That move right there. Well, he didn't even finish it, but you know what I'm saying. So once again, you come down, you're doing whatever, you're doing your spin move. You could actually, oh God, he's stuck in that walk animation. Shit is pathetic. So you come down, you do a spin move, sham guard, crossover, whatever, and just make sure you hold turbo after the move executes. So spin move. Either that, look at that, shuffle step into it. Some of the stuff could be unreliable sometimes, so you'll have to excuse me. Even though I have the right analog stick to absolute, sometimes he doesn't always pull out the moves, which could be annoying. So there you go. Sham guard, crossover, hop jumper, whatever. Creating space. So, like I said, this stuff might sound, seem not too complicated, or might sound complicated depending on who you are. But once you get the practice down and you mix this stuff up, you'll be cutting up the CPU or even real life players without a problem. I murder people in the park with these moves, even just spinning around them on a break. The lag can't handle knowing what to do. I caught some guy in the park coming down, just doing my simple spin move into a dribble pull-up. Everybody's expecting you to drive. But you do these techniques, you're going to just score at will, man. It's crazy. Well, anyway, in preparation for 2K16, I hope this helped some of you guys out, and I hope it helped answer some of the questions about how I make some of the crossovers look so fancy. But again, it's just going to take some practice. And tell me what you think about this new jump shot as well. I'm going to be using it's number 43 normal. I had to change it because I feel like I was unreliable from downtown because of my jump shot and being set to quick. Even though I'm missing all these jumpers, I definitely feel like I'm much more reliable from downtown since I equipped it. I just shot 79% last game, all around field goal percentage with like 3 threes. So let me know what you think, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.